I don't know if it was like this for Antoinette, but I find that when my thoughts start to spiral out of control and start a loop where you're replaying something over and over in your head, it's the emotions that it starts to evoke is where I get into trouble. You know, it starts to bring, my heart starts pounding. And so you're caught in this loop in your mind of the thoughts rolling around over and over. And it's almost like time stands still. You're taken away to, you know, an event or something that's going on. And you're upset. And you're sitting there and you're upsetting yourself. And at some point you just have to say enough. All right, enough. I need a break. And if it takes getting out of the house and going for a walk, if it takes, you know, putting on some music or the TV for a distraction, just something to distract you from the thoughts for a while so you can get yourself under control.
Yeah.
And realize that you're the one causing it. You know, whatever event or whatever thing happened is over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's stuff that doesn't even happen.
Yeah, it didn't even happen.
You work yourself up over nothing.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're losing your mind. At some point, you have to say, all right, enough, and do something to break that cycle in that moment.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. What you said right there, when you said it's the emotions that come up, that's what I mean when I'm saying pain, when I'm saying discomfort, what you're calling emotions. When that discomfort comes up, it starts driving the bus. We are different people when we are in pain. And that's why these discussions on this discomfort, on this pain, on these emotions, all same thing to me, okay? You know, different words, different distinctions for the same sort of subtle discomfort. You know what I mean? And that's why we have to become present to this discomfort, because that's what it does to your mind. When you start feeling that discomfort, that's when you start running at your mind starts running and all this weirdness starts happening, because you're trying to placate those emotions, that discomfort that's coming up, and you're trying to do it mentally. But you end up just really muddying the water and making a bigger problem out of it when you're trying to think your way out of negative thinking. You know, it's funny. When you're not in pain and you're walking down the street, you're like, oh my God, the world is just such a beautiful place, and look at that bird, and you're so pleasant, and you're so love is just coming out of you. But when you feel pain, that's when you're different. And you feel pain most of the time, more than you know. We're used to the macro pain. You know what I mean? Like the big, oh my God, I'm getting punched in the stomach. There's so much pain. That's obvious. I'm talking about the subtle, little, mild pain. You know, the emotion, that little emotion that's there. And all of a sudden, the mind starts. It's a very interesting phenomena that happens, that the mind, when you start to feel that discomfort, you know, just somehow that gives the mind license to do whatever it wants. There's mind when you're not in pain and mind when you're in pain. Not the same mind. So we have to bring our attention to our discomfort and just kind of be with it and allow it without thinking about it. We've got to get used to not thinking about it. Because once we start thinking about it, this is what you get. You get a
shit show.
Yeah, it is. And then you get in this negative feedback loop. I'm thinking negative thoughts that are creating negative feelings, that are creating more negative thoughts, that are creating more negative feelings, and you want to throw up, literally. And like you said, over something that didn't even, you don't even know why. Something that didn't even happen. This is a conditioned, habitual way of being. This is clearly not happening consciously. No one here desires that mess. And so we've got to bring consciousness to it. You've got to be aware that the discomfort is there. Perhaps one of the ways to realize that the discomfort is there is what the mind is doing. Hey, my mind's getting a little haywire. What am I feeling? How can I change my state? So what are some of the ways that you can change your state quickly? Go exercise. Number one, exercise for real. Like, I became a personal trainer and started a career in exercise just for this reason. A movie, you know, you'll notice that will just bring your attention somewhere else. Breathe, yeah, in case you're not breathing. Yeah, like conscious deep breathe, like how sometimes we breathe in a cycle. You know what an interesting one is? Take a hot shower. Yeah. That's one of my favorite. Really changes my state when I take a hot shower.
When you're feeling kind of down, take a shower.
Yeah. I take a lot of showers now. I feel good after a shower. What a simple, I mean, for a guy it's a little different, I guess. You know, for me it's like a glorified washing my face and hands. But it's just something that I just feel so much better when I come out of the shower and I'm nice and clean, and it just puts me in a good state. Think about when you come out of the shower. Don't you feel good? Something that simple. Yeah, it's just something that simple. And I encourage you to have a list of things that you do to change your state when your mind is coming off the rails. Because when your mind is coming off the rails, you're not going to remember any of this stuff. You know? Meditating might be difficult in that moment, but you can do mantra. Mantra will really cut through that. Just chanting Om. There's some recordings that we use, some things I can recommend.